as we normally say every single Monday morning, we'll say it on a Tuesday. What is up, nerds? It's me, your buddy pal, Hey Archer. Welcome back to Nerdy Coffee here on Nerd Affiliated. Sorry. I have work stuff, so I could not. It was perfect. First Nerdy Coffee of the year on January 1st would have been perfect. But alas, it didn't work out, so we're here on the 2nd. But I'm so happy to see all of you here this morning for your weekly Monday morning show. We sit back, relax, enjoy, especially on a day like today, a nice hot cup of brew. Talk about the news. Not too much going on today. Not too much going on this week. So will we go the whole show? We'll do the whole show. Will we go the whole hour? Who knows? You guys may think of some stuff for us to talk about as we proceed. But more importantly, if you have a YouTube channel, YouTube channel, podcast, blog, vlog, OnlyFans, newsletter, smoke signals, whatever it may be, put it in the chat. Support one another. Plug your shit as I'm belching this fine morning uncontrollably. That's fine. We'll make it through. It's good to see all of you. Good to see you guys this morning. Anthony in the house. First one on my phone and on the computer and in our hearts. Good to see you. EC in the house. Good morning, everyone. Finally getting my notifications for Nerdy Coffee. There you go. T3 with a third. Love it. Actually, let me pull something up here while I'm thinking about it. I have too many tabs. Oh, what was I going to do with that? Oh, I did that already. You know, it's funny when you have a tab open and you're like, you see something and you're like, wait, why was that tab open? I don't remember, but I do remember now. And I don't need it anymore. Heading over to YouTube before I even do my own plugs. Shout out to T3 Collects, putting out his top videos of the year and also the worst. And a lot of you have been doing that. And I've appreciated all of you guys doing the Lord's work, putting out your top 10 of the year, whether it's the best or the worst. You guys are knocking them out. So happy to see that. And, I didn't even see this one. Oh, no, I did. Oh, no, I didn't. You know what it was? I was running out of time, so I skipped to see who was number one. But I wanted to see where the rest fell in place there. But make sure you guys subscribe over there to T3 Collects, EC Collecting, Millennium Workshop, Craft Collects, Rambling Nerds, one of us. So over here at Nerd Affiliated, and anybody else who's out there putting the content out. And I'll say good morning to both Millennium and Crafts, since you guys are here. Good to see ya. So, how was your weekend? Anybody do anything fun? Did you find anything? Did you find anything good? Maybe. I have not been hunting. I have to say, I have not been hunting. Morning, Steve. Good to see you. The weekend's kind of a blur, and not even like in a joking, like drunk way or anything. I feel like the period of time between Christmas and New Year's is usually a blur. In my younger years, definitely, because week off of work, hanging out, going to the bar, etc. But even in my old age now, I just feel like the week between Christmas and New Year's is just, it's a mess. And it probably starts from before that, because you're getting your last minute gifts. You're maybe traveling somewhere, doing all of that. So I feel like I've been in a haze for the last 2 weeks. I also got sick. So it's nice to know that we're through all of that. We're in a new year, fresh start, and a lot of fun things happening on the channel. A lot of fun things are planned for the year. More importantly, I look forward to continuing on the Proton Pack adventures. Ghostbusters Afterlife is coming up in the next couple months, so it will be fun to build that with all of you. So make sure you subscribe so that way you can, follow along in that journey. There's one other thing I wanted to pull up. So that's right. We are back in full swing. Millennium saying, finish the Tusken Raider helmet and the Kanan Jarrus mask. Love that. It's funny. You posted, like, guess what I'm making. And I always enjoy guessing whatever a 3D printer creator, diorama builder is making. Dripporama, who makes dios, he always does that. And I'm like, it's this. He's like, you got it. So the fact that I got yours correct too, I was pretty happy about that. Made my day. T3 said, I learned I'm pretty much going to be job hunting again. Oh, man, I'm sorry to hear that, dude. Yeah, everybody's pulling for you. I'm sorry to hear that. Yeah, that sucks. I honestly, it may happen to me as well. It may happen to a lot of us. So I wish you the best in that. You're going to do just fine. We believe. I still believe someday you and me. Sorry. Well, there's not a lot to talk about today, but the main thing, man collects, good to see you. Yeah, it sucks. We're all pulling for you, T3. We're all pulling for you. The main things to talk about are movie related, so it's great that the strike is over, because if not for any movie related news, wouldn't really have much to talk about today. Like, I'm not lying there. But I'm gonna do a little screen share here, and once again, shout out to our boys Lenny and Dante over at For Those Good Taste. I'll post the link in the chat for the latest episode. But there's nothing coming out this week that I care about movie wise. I kind of forgot what was coming out in general. I feel like Aquaman put the final stamp on what was probably a bad year of movies, I would say. Sorry. But in listening to For Those Good Taste, I saw this segment and I thought we can watch this together, because there's a lot of movies coming 2024, and it turns out a ton of them, an absolute ton of them, are sequels. So we'll watch that together. Millennium just watched Rebel Moon and loved it. I don't know, maybe I'll do a review on that. It's been a long time since we've done an actual movie review on the channel, so I might have to talk about that one. The spoiler alert there on my thoughts were, it's so Zack Snyder, it's not even funny. And it wasn't until the very, maybe the middle, like the last third of the movie, is when I was like, all right, there's something good here. But like everything leading up to it was just copy paste Zack Snyder. And that could be either a plus or a minus depending on if you're a fan or not. T3 says Iron Claw. Yeah, I do. I really want to see Iron Claw. I'm hoping I can see it at home, of course, before any kind of spoilers are thrown my way, because although a wrestling fan, I'm not familiar with that family, so I'm not sure where it all goes. So I'm curious there. William says, kind of like Star Wars Chronicles of Riddick and Dune had a love child. 1,000%. 1,000%. In the group chat we had, the first like 15 minutes in, I was like, are we watching or am I watching like Dune fan fiction? Because that's what it feels like. T3 says, first horror film of the year comes out Friday called Night Swim. All right, there you go. I enjoyed Rebel Moon. Just makes no sense why they didn't release the rated R director's cut instead of what we got. Yeah. I think he and Netflix think, we could do what we did with BVS, where it's like, we'll make the regular one and the director's cut and the black and white version. No. But let's check out this clip from Lenny and Dante over at For Those Good Tastes.
I had was just quickly, I saw as I was scrolling Twitter today, this whole list of franchises that are returning with new movies in 2024.
Really?
And it's extensive. It's kind of crazy.
How upset is this list going to make me?
You probably haven't seen 60% of it, so I'm not angry. And I just think is like 2024 going to be the year of the sequel / reboot. So let's dive into this. So we're getting a new Alien film in 2024. Twister.
Oh, I remember hearing about that actually, yeah.
Mad Max.
We talked about that, yeah.
Bad Boys.
They're doing another one?
Yeah, the third one did really well. Like, exceeded expectations well.
But, like, we were just talking about, like, them, like, people being aged out of certain roles. And I just feel like they're getting a little old for this shit.
Will Smith isn't. I think Will Smith still works in an action role.
All right,
I agree with that.
Was never like the action guy in those movies.
True. Yeah, you're right.
He didn't like.
No, you're right.
Yeah. The Crow.
Was that the one where the dude got killed, like in real life?
Yeah.
One of the best parts of the show is Dante not knowing a lot of movie stuff. It's great. I love the dynamic. Love the dynamic. Alien movie. Had no idea they're doing another one of those until they said it. And I'm wondering if they were going to attempt to sneak it out like what they did with Prey, where it comes out, nobody knows it's a Predator movie until like the last second. Or maybe you're watching it and you're like, oh, wait, it sounds familiar. So maybe that.
I don't have anything for TV shows really right now. Transformers is getting another movie, it looks like. I don't know how this is possible that Transformers is getting another one when I don't think it's being filmed yet.
And they're slating it for 2024?
Yeah, right? Like, that sounds crazy. The Lion King?
Might be animated.
Oh, my God. They're really going back to the well on that for the live action?
Yeah, but you just said how much you love these Disney movies.
The originals?
But you loved Mulan.
I didn't say I loved Mulan. I said it was an okay movie.
Felt like you loved it.
Sure. Whatever. Spin your narrative.
Yep. Ghostbusters. That trailer throws me off whenever it happens because, like, I'm like, oh, this movie looks like it's. I don't want to be.
And then you see the Ghostbusters car come out, and you're like, wait, what the fuck? I thought this was like another Day After Tomorrow or something.
Yeah, I was.
It does have that feel.
I don't want to hate on Ghostbusters.
I don't know. The trailer looks intriguing.
Yeah, and Afterlife was good. It's just not like I think I missed the boat on Ghostbusters.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like.
Is that because you didn't get into the franchise early enough?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like,
okay.
It's not something.
So he kind of goes over his history of movies, but actually, I was telling him in the comment section, I was also super late on Ghostbusters. In fact, I saw Ghostbusters in 2019, 2020. That was the first time I saw it like in its entirety. And I was like, yeah, that's all right. It was a good movie. But it wasn't until the cosplay building that I really, really got into Ghostbusters. So it's never too late, Lenny. It's never too late.
Interesting going back to watch, you know?
Gotcha.
So if it didn't find me in like the 90s, I don't have any attachment to it now.
Yeah, because I feel like a lot of these are building on like the nostalgic value, and if you don't have that childhood memory, then it's just not going to pull you the same way.
Mm-hmm. Despicable Me. Which it's the one about is like the prequel about the bad guy. Is that the new one that's coming out? I feel like I've seen a couple trailers.
No.
Doesn't really matter that much.
Yeah.
Lord of the Rings, which
Is this a remake?
yeah,
or?
I'm wondering. No, it's definitely not a remake. But like, I'm wondering if like, because this list doesn't list any details on these movies. So I'm wondering if it's more
Oh my god, not typing again.
in relation to like streaming service stuff. Because like Lord of the Rings, you have the TV show that's still going on, right?
No, there's a movie.
What's it called?
Lord of the Rings: The War of the Rohirrim.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's a movie that currently is scheduled to release in December of 2024.
Damn. Okay. Fuck. Beverly Hills Cop.
Ooh, do we get Eddie Murphy back?
Yeah, he's done a little bit of a press run I've seen in the past week talking about it and saying that like it's not easy
Exactly,
as
Kraft.
for him to
Nothing yet outside of Ghostbusters has me like, oh, I'm excited for that.
quite as fun for me to film. Essentially, is the way I took it. But yeah, he's got a new one coming out. Wallace and Gromit. Who cares about that?
Oh, that was like the claymation movie, right?
Like stop motion claymation movie. Yeah, you're into that, huh?
I remember watching it. I don't remember if I liked it or not. But
I never watched it. I remember going to the movies a lot when I was younger, and there would just be trailers for it, a ton. I don't know why that stood out. I mean, I guess it stands out because there's not many movies like that.
Yeah.
And then Planet of the Apes.
Okay.
So sequels coming in 2024. They did expound on that list a little bit more. So you have the Joker 2.
Like the Joaquin Phoenix one?
Yeah.
Okay.
There's been some stills that have come out in the past week or so for that. Dune 2. Smile 2. Sonic 3.
Ooh, I like that one.
Venom 3.
Okay.
Terrifier 3.
I never even heard of Terrifier 1 or 2.
Yeah, Terrifier is it's like a B horror movie that has become like kind of cult classic-y. I've tried watching it. I don't really enjoy it that much. It's like a clown who doesn't speak that like brutally kills people. Doesn't really do too much for me. I've watched like most of the first and second.
I mean,
one,
EC,
and I just,
you
like,
are a horror
I don't know,
guy,
it's something
so
you can throw on, but it's not something that like people.
take your
love
word
that
for it.
fucking movie. It's not really for me.
Really? Huh.
Which is weird because like I love that genre, but
yeah, I was thinking that too.
Gladiator 2, we've talked about.
Yep.
Bad Boys 4, we were just talking about. Deadpool 3.
Yep.
Inside Out 2. Beetlejuice 2.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Paddington 3. We just talked about Ghostbusters. You have Despicable Me 4. Kung Fu Panda 4. And
I think
Beverly
we just
Hills
saw a trailer
Cop.
for that.
So, like, that's a lot of fucking sequels. You could basically, that means for the next year, you're going to get 1 to 2 you could go 1 to 2 sequels a month and basically fill it out. And what's realistically going to happen is you're not getting any of these sequels till like Q2.
Yeah.
So you're going to bunch a ton of sequels into like the summer months is what I assume for a lot of these. Next week, my plan is for us to do a little bit of a year in review, revisit the list.
Yeah, so I didn't know that many sequels were coming out this year. And even as you guys were in the chat, we're saying the same kind of thing. Where, Ghostbusters. I'm excited for an Alien movie. Not gonna lie. Not gonna see it in theaters. Not for fear reasons, but again, it's gonna take a lot for me to go to the theater. Deadpool. Am I excited for Deadpool? I don't know. I'm more excited for what will Marvel do with Deadpool? How much control will Ryan Reynolds have on Deadpool? And can Ryan Reynolds somehow make this movie different than the previous two? Because number 2, while not a bad movie, I just felt like at this point, Ryan Reynolds has been putting out so many movies where he just plays Ryan Reynolds that him playing Deadpool, I'm like, all right, you're just Ryan Reynolds. So I don't know. I'm going to need something different to get me excited for Deadpool. Don't lie, you're scared. Hey, plead the fifth. Plead the fifth. That's how I feel about Deadpool. I'm excited, but I'm not getting my hopes up. Yeah. Aaron Waller in the house. Good to see you. Anthony says, I'm excited but hesitant. Jackman coming back has me hopeful. Yeah, I mean, that's kind of where we are, right? Like we're at the point of wanting nostalgia in our superhero movies as well. On nostalgia that's like what, 20 years old, 15 years old. When did X-Men 1 come out? I feel like that was like 98. It's coming up on 20 years maybe. So, you know, outside of that, I have very, very little faith on I have very little faith on them not messing it up. Really. Really. Aaron Waller in the house. Good to see you. Millennium says, I'm tired that no one has original ideas anymore. Yeah. That's the thing. It's just, you know, been there, done that. You know, been there, done that on everything on there. And it's kind of annoying. It's kind of annoying. All right. So going back up, I didn't want you to think I skipped your comment. Anthony said, did anybody else see that Chris Jericho is being accused of some inappropriate behavior by an AEW wrestler? I did not see that, but I will definitely check into that when the show's done, just to, you know, see what's up there. So another bit of news that may have flown under the radar. Is it a big deal? To be determined. To be determined, really. Actually, let me get one more video queued up. I was watching yesterday, and I feel like we should watch it together. Let's see. Go to history. I've watched way more videos in the last day than I realized. There we go. All right. So apparently, the likeness to Mickey Mouse and Minnie Mouse have entered public domain. Essentially, what that means, you can make free art with Mickey Mouse, maybe. Let's see what the Today Show says.
Remember the original Mickey Mouse, better known as Steamboat Willie? He made his debut in the 1928 animated short film of the same name, directed by Walt Disney and Ub Iwerks. Now this morning, Mickey and thousands of other classic works are entering public domain, following the expiration of a 95-year copyright term. In other words, this Mickey is up for grabs.
So I didn't know that there were terms on copyright stuff. Like, does that mean in like 100 years, you know, the Nike swoosh would be up for grabs? Is that what that falls into? Or like, does that mean I can make my own Daredevil movie in 100 years?
Anyone that wants to use this specific version without permission.
I gotta figure out how to make money on this thing. It's simply too good.
Across social media, users reacting to the news. One posting, "Hey, check out this new character I came up with." A spokesperson for Disney saying more modern versions of Mickey will remain unaffected, adding Mickey will continue to play a leading role as a global ambassador for the Walt Disney Company in our storytelling, theme park attractions, and merchandise. It's not just Mickey. The original Minnie Mouse and Tigger will also be joining the lot.
I'm Tigger.
As well as J.M. Barrie's Peter Pan. Now, you might be wondering, what's the big deal? Winnie the Pooh's copyright ran out in 2022. And shortly thereafter, a slasher film titled Winnie the Pooh Blood and Honey hit theaters, leading to outrage from fans all over the world. Even the film's director said he experienced death threats. Now, Steamboat Willie's Mickey will be at the center of a horror video game, Infestation 88, with the creators saying they're looking to infuse nostalgia with terror.
Thought it was just rodents, but there's something
something else in here.
And it's not just these characters from your childhood, but also works from literary masters like Agatha Christie and Virginia Woolf. Music like Mac the Knife, often performed by Louis Armstrong.
It's funny, I didn't know if I hold down on the video, it would actually speed it up. Let's see if I can get to their final thoughts here.
Film coming out this year.
Wait, what?
Exactly. And so that's the thing. It's not all iterations of Mickey Mouse. It's this specific one from 1928, the specific Minnie Mouse. But now if you're starting to see these characters pop up in horror movies or horror video games, now you'll know why, but you'll also know that it's not endorsed by Disney.
Well, I hope they don't start doing that with Steve.
Please don't. Please
do that.
don't. And by the way, you dressed the part for this today, Chloe Loss.
I did.
Of course you did.
I just need the ears.
Right.
Understood.
So in another video I watched the other day, they said somebody coming up in the next couple of years, they listed some people, characters, but Superman is one of those too. So does that mean that in the future we can get a true Superman versus Goku, Superman versus Omni-Man, Superman versus anybody? Could that happen? We'll see. We'll see. But I thought the most interesting part there was it makes sense why that Winnie the Pooh movie came out. Like, I was so confused by that. I was like, oh, how did they get away with getting a Winnie the Pooh horror movie? Like, it's so weird. But there's other things, too, that are public domain, as you saw, like Peter Pan, for example. That's why anybody can make a Peter Pan movie. I think, like, King Arthur, stuff like that is public domain. So it's all right. I mean, will I end up playing the Infestation 88? No. Not my thing. Is it a money grab? Of course. I mean, look at this thing. 22 hours ago, and it's almost at 600,000 views already. So, it's people will make their money on it. But at the end of the day, meh. I don't know. Are you guys excited for some Mickey Mouse, I don't know, horror stuff? EC says Blood and Honey was good. Can't wait for the sequel. All right. Mickey horror game, I'm sold. There you go. There you go. Now, something else that dropped, talking about characters and their likenesses, we have a little, I'm not going to say fan film, but these people over at Hello There have taken one of the greatest fights in Star Wars history, if not the greatest. Actually, which one is better? Which one's better? Both different moments in time. But is Revenge of the Sith, is that fight better, in your opinion, than Empire Strikes Back? Because I feel like the battle between Luke and Vader was very emotionally heavy, considering the time. And, what we got, the technology at the time, what they thought they could do with lightsaber fighting at the time. Like, if they had today's choreographers back then, maybe that fight would have been more, more over the top. But I feel like it's still an amazing fight scene between father and son. So this company went and they took the Revenge of the Sith fight between Obi-Wan and Anakin and put it to the Clone Wars cartoon. Now, I don't know how they got through with the copyright music here. I'm sure Disney will give them a cease and desist at some point. But
Anakin, my allegiance is to the Republic, to democracy.
If you're not with me,
this is amazing.
then you're my enemy.
Only a Sith deals in absolutes. I will do what I must.
You will try.
So I'm going to mute it for obvious reasons. I'm going to link it in the chat for you guys. And I encourage you to watch the whole thing. I felt more emotionally connected to this version than the movie version because we've had so much Clone Wars. Even though it's the same characters, the same exact fight scene, but the visual of seeing the Clone Wars cartoon versions and the fact that the voices, I don't know if it's the same actors, but it sounds pretty close. Maybe they use like AI to like mimic it. But it felt to me like a whole different fight scene, and it felt heavier to me than what we got in the movie. I mean, this here was the part I was most interested in. Yep. It looked kind of weird. This was the one that's probably the best sequence in the live action. And it looked a little gummy there. I don't know, like their arms were bending in weird ways, it seemed like. But the entire fight was absolutely amazing. Funny though, as I'm watching the whole thing, there's the sequence where, and this thing, by the way, goes into the him becoming Vader and everything. Like it's a long video. I was looking at this sequence. Where you at? Here you go. And I was like, man, Anakin really wants to kill this dude. Like Anakin really wants to end this. That they are on the brink of death. And he's like, I'm still going to get you. He's about to fall to his death. And he's still swiping up. Still like, I'm going to get you. I'm going to get you. So that takes some real hate. And ultimately, I still feel like I understand why Anakin turned all these years later. After watching the Clone Wars, I understand why he did it. But I feel like they never really explained or conveyed it well that he would try to murder somebody he has saved so many times. It may be one of the greatest tragedies of Star Wars, not counting the Disney bullshit. But the pre-Disney, the Lucasfilm era of Disney, I feel like it just never quite landed. Maybe if Obi-Wan did something and Anakin thought Obi-Wan killed Padme by mistake. I mean, there's that scene where she falls and he kind of blames her. I mean, he's the one that force choked her, but he blames Obi-Wan for him having to do that. Not enough to me. So I feel like if Obi-Wan did something and he thought she died, or what if Obi-Wan did accidentally kill Padme and then Anakin's just like, it's over, it's a wrap. Would have made a little bit more sense. But I remember, and I never shy away from this, when I left Revenge of the Sith, when it first came out, midnight release, I left that theater and I was like, this movie sucks. This movie's bullshit. And it wasn't until watching the Clone Wars, seeing the build up, then seeing him turn, where I was like, oh, okay, I could see where he's jaded by the Jedi Order. I could see where him and Palpatine, kind of start to not just build a bond, but you could see how powerful and manipulative Palpatine is. So it justified it more to me. and then I ended up enjoying Revenge of the Sith after the fact. But at the time, when that movie came out, I was like, this movie sucks. I hated Star Wars. People forget, these youths forget that the prequel trilogy was hated kind of like the sequel trilogy is now. And it turned around. So that's where I'm still wondering. I'm still wondering if at a certain point we're going to flip the script and there's going to be some people out there who are like, no, the sequel trilogy, that's my Star Wars. That's my Star Wars. All right, so the last two things I had on, actually three things I had on here before we go into box office recap. Paramount Plus and Amazon both doing price increases this year. I don't know. I feel like all these companies now kind of have us by the, you know what? More importantly, Netflix and Amazon. I think they've really got us good. Amazon is going to be doing a $2.99 like add-on so that you don't have advertisements in your Amazon Prime membership. I think it's bullshit, but you know, is what it is. Paramount, I feel like they're gambling on that one. I feel like people have no issues dumping Paramount Plus. I like it, but I feel like most people, they could do without it. So they may face some backlash there. You know, Netflix, I think Netflix just owns, you know, it's the Pamper, it's the Kleenex. Like, is that what the product's called? No, but it has the Buzz name to it. So Netflix, I think, is just going to stick around. HBO Max, though, I feel like might be in bigger trouble than we suspect. T3 highlighted the other day how there's rumors going around about Warner Brothers going bankrupt. Again, I'm waiting for more articles to come out about that before I really talk about it. But if you look at Netflix, so many Warner Brothers properties are now on Netflix. DC cartoons, live action, movies, Warner Brothers movies, so much of it's on Netflix. So they're starting to give out their licenses again. We'll see what happens there. But these companies, I feel like at a certain point, you're gonna break the bank, and people are gonna just be like, I'm out. I'll just keep Netflix, because obviously Netflix is tried and true, and people have no issue giving them content once again. Maybe Disney's next on that one. I don't know, but we'll see what happens there. And I saw a bunch of posts about Ironheart. If you don't remember, Ironheart, the latest, not latest at this point, but back when Marvel was changing out all of their legacy characters to new characters, the most popular being Miles Morales, we had Tony Stark get offed. Riri Williams becomes Ironheart. Ironheart made her live action debut in Black Panther 2. Allegedly, the movie has wrapped. It has wrapped, I think, last year, 2020. No. Wow, we're already in 2024. That's crazy. The movie wrapped somewhere in 2022. And they're saying that it won't come out till maybe 2025, because they're doing a lot of re-edits. They're really cranking down on the CGI for it. I think there's absolutely no rush to put this movie out, because everything's been trending poorly on the superhero front. So definitely take your time. Re-edit it however you see fit. But ultimately, I don't think we need it. I really don't think we need it. So we'll see. We'll see how it does. We have What If Season 2 is rolling. They've been dropping episodes daily. I have watched a couple. It's all right. It's good. Is it something that I'm telling people you need to watch What If? No. Not like Tales of the Jedi. So if you want some superhero stuff, you want something new, What If Season 2 currently airing on Disney Plus, give it a watch. Sure, why not? Now, what is good is Reacher Season 2. That's currently rolling. That's still amazing. I feel like by time Season 5 comes out, Alan Ritchson is going to be literally a brick. It's just going to be a brick walking down the street because that dude, that dude's jacked in the season. And it's a good season. It is a good season. I hope that if I'm going to critique one thing, I hope that they kind of draw a line in the sand and we don't cross into John Wick territory where Reacher can literally headbutt a car and not be hurt. Like, we need to really start watching that because he loves headbutting. If you've seen the show, he loves headbutting. But there's been a couple times this season already where I'm like, all right, dude, I get it. So we'll see. Kraft says he's caught up on Reacher. Oh, no, he's going to catch up. Yeah, you should. And that you're going to watch What If, I guess? Is that what we're saying? Going back to the prequel conversation, Anthony says, I feel like the difference between the prequels and the sequels is this time the hate's justified. It was justified then. Attack of the Clones is unwatchable. Attack of the Clones is the Thor 2 of the Star Wars universe. Before we got to the sequels. And I feel like up until recently, there hasn't been anybody who says that the prequels are better than the sequels. There is this like little group of people out there who grew up on the prequels that aren't quite our age. They're probably like in their mid-20s, early 20s, that they say the prequels is their Star Wars because they hadn't seen the original trilogy. Like, that is a thing. So that I can kind of get. But if you watch it from a like critiquing perspective and as an actual movie fan, I don't think anybody says the prequels are better than the original trilogy. But what I think is going to happen, speaking of General Kenobi in the house, almost hit the button, not that kind of show. But what I think is going to happen is in this era of short attention spans, of kids not really messing with like long form content like that, there are going to be a bunch of people who say the sequel trilogy is their favorite Star Wars, that when you ask them to even like name plot points of the movie, they're going to be like, oh, yeah, Rey and Kylo Ren, they, Luke Skywalker. I saw a baby Grogu, like that's going to be all they know. So I think that's the difference, like 15, 20 years from now, because those are all children now. But now we're dealing with the then children of the prequels who, as they watch stuff, they're like, oh, the original trilogy is okay. But I think there's going to be way more people who say the sequel trilogy is their shit 15 years down the road. I mean, my little cousin loves Rey. Rey's her jam. I'm sure her parents have shown her the originals, maybe showed her the prequels, but all she cares about is sequel trilogy stuff. So we'll see. Kenobi says, congratulations on the first show of the year, and thank you for 51 awesome mornings. You're welcome. You're welcome. I was thinking, which show did I miss? What week did I miss? Was that when I went to Dominican Republic, maybe? Maybe that was the show. Because even when I went to Mexico, I think we still knocked out an episode somehow. Because that was a week trip. And then I came back for a Monday, I think. So it might have been DR. Otherwise, yeah, we would have had a perfect 52-week streak going on. So, yeah. All right. I thought we wouldn't make it the hour, but we're obviously going to do that. So let's go to our favorite segment of the week of the show, to steal a line from Ariel Hawani. Box office recap. Let's see here. If the sequels are all people's kids know, then I say their parents failed them. I would say their parents are lost. Then you are lost. I'm a prequels kid and I'm in my 30s. No, I don't. But the thing is, if you're in your 30s, I would assume you were old enough and maybe even saw the special editions in theaters. Unless your parents didn't show you the OT, you got introduced through the prequels. You said I had to go back and watch the original trilogy. So were the prequels your first introduction? And did you see all three before you saw the original trilogy? Tell me about that journey. Curious. All right, so last weekend, I'm quite surprised by the numbers. I'm not going to lie. Wonka, first place, 22.7. Aquaman, 18.3. Migration, Color Purple, Anybody But You. So huge weekends there, especially for Wonka. Right now at a worldwide 384. So if I scroll over, so Wonka opened up domestically at 39. And right now it's at 140. So let's add that to the sheet. I did not update today, so I want to kind of show you guys what that looks like. Because I think it was K-Walk was asking, like, do I do all these manually? Is it a lot of work? It's not. You just type it in. It does all the math for you. So right now, Wonka would be profitable. If we go by the rule of two, where the budget was 125, so 250 would be the mark to beat, and it's at 384. So that is surprising. But at the same time, it's getting good reviews. It is getting good reviews. So shout out to Timothy Chalamet. Aquaman. Ooh, did Aquaman potentially turn profit? Aquaman opened up 28. They corrected it to 27.7. 1, 2, 3. So right now it is at 81,845. 1, 2, 3. 173, 6, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. Total of 255. Budget of 205. So it needs 410 estimated. All right, so it's almost. Aquaman might break even. It might break even. But last week, I think last week may have been an outlier. I'll update the rest of these later on. Oh, you know what? I'm curious to see, where is Godzilla on here? Ferrari opened up at 8. Boys in the Boat opened up at 6. At 8 million. All right. Interesting with Boys in the Boat. I was listening to George Clooney talk about making this movie, and Weinstein production. They still have that. They didn't bother even rebrand or anything. Wow, interesting. He's talking about this, and he was saying how there's not much of a demand at the moment for a nonfiction, true story in theaters. And he's not wrong. He's not wrong. I still think the theater is dying, in my opinion. I'm not sure where these movies go outside of streaming. But I hope these kinds of movies do not end. We still need those iron claws and the dramas, stories based on real events. Ferrari opening up at 8th place, 4 million currently at 14 worldwide. Not surprised there. All right, so Godzilla is at 81 worldwide. Crazy. So let's see here. If we go to Godzilla, right now domestically, it only made another 6 million, so it's starting to lose steam. Very niche movie. Most of what we talk about here is niche. This one's interesting. It didn't really improve that much internationally. Only improved by 2 million. So, still doing well relative to the field. I'm still going to wait. I'm going to wait it out. I'll go back to the Star Wars conversations after the movie stuff. T3 says Aquaman Aquaman break even is around 700 million. Wow. Probably the reshoots, Amber Heard delays. Yeah, I could see that. It's a lot, but I could see it. Yep. We didn't do did we do the? Yeah, we did our favorite movies of the year, but a couple months ago. So it could probably use a slight bit of updating because a bunch of us have seen more movies since then. We did it was more of a year to date because of the strike ending. So we probably should do a year-end review, year-end award type of thing. It's just such a weird year with the strike. But if I'm to give a biggest disappointment of the year, to me, it would have been The Creator. Going into it, I didn't have the craziest of expectations because the trailer alone was like Blade Runner meets Logan meets The Last of Us. Like it gave me that in the trailer. So going into it, I knew what to expect. The Creator was super interesting because it was also filmed on a camera that you could just go buy right now. Like it was built on a Sony FX3, I think, and looked absolutely amazing. Absolutely amazing. So The Creator, I decided to buy it. I bought it, go figure, a month before it was on streaming. But I don't feel bad buying movies that I want to like support what they did, what they stood for potentially. After the fact, I realized it was Disney, and I was really surprised by that. But I wanted the creators of The Creator to get my revenue. You know, I didn't see it in theaters, so I bought it. And it just, as the movie played out, I was just like, there's not a lot of surprise here. Visually, it's great. I hate to compare it to Rebel Moon, but nothing in Rebel Moon was like, oh wow, oh that's a surprise, oh that like, they played by the numbers, whatever the analogy is. Color by numbers is what Rebel Moon was as far as the Zack Snyder coloring book. The Creator was color by numbers as far as a sci-fi movie that doesn't want to take a lot of risk, or they're already taking a lot of risk in the way they're filming it. So let's just make the script sci-fi color by numbers. Appreciate what it attempted to do. Acting was good. The visuals are amazing, are absolutely amazing. But at the end of the day, The Creator, it left me wanting more. T3 says, my top 10 is on my Letterboxd account. Let's pull that up real quick. So, followers, T3. list. Top 10. All right. So you have Spider-Man, Iron Claw, Oppenheimer, Guardians, Barbie, Godzilla, The Holdovers, Air, and John Wick, and Evil Dead. All right. Yeah. I really want to see Evil Dead. I skipped it, didn't regret it, but I don't know. I'm thinking about trying to watch it. I think the fact that it's named Evil Dead and it's not really what we know as Evil Dead, that's what bothers me. I'd be curious to see The Holdovers too. Air, I have no desire. And then I did want to see, where did Lenny finish out on For Those Good Tastes? Godzilla, Mission, John Wick, Guardians, The Covenant, Creator, Hunger Games, Indiana Jones, number 8. That's crazy. Meg 2, and Transformers. Now, what I will disclaimer here is Lenny can appreciate a cheesy movie like The Meg 2 and find the things that are good about it, including just the theater experience. So I think the only egregious thing up here that I would ever question is Indiana Jones. But nonetheless, I do want to see The Covenant. I really do want to see The Covenant. John Wick 4, I'm out. I'm out of John Wick. Although I saw a clip on Twitter now, or formerly Twitter, currently X, where I was like, "Oh, what movie is that from?" "Oh, John Wick." All right, cool. I'm like, "Oh, I'm over it. I'm over it." But Mission Impossible, I just saw that this week, paid for it, and thoroughly enjoyed it. Thoroughly enjoyed it. Tom Cruise, the last real actor of our time. That's kind of where we are now. If I was to give a surprise of the year, Ninja Turtles, by far. More so than Super Mario Brothers. Super Mario Brothers was a surprise, but Turtles, I was shocked at how much I was laughing while I was watching that movie. Transformers, also pretty good. Pretty good. But as you can see, Lenny saw quite a bit. Expendables beating out 65 as the worst movie of the year. Love it. Absolutely love it. All right, let's finish out with the Star Wars talk you guys had here. Kenobi said, yeah, special editions were a gateway for many people to the OT. Yep. EC says, I'm in my 30s. I grew up on the originals before I saw the prequels. Kraft says, I knew the main plot of the fight, Darth Vader, Luke's father revelation, but watching the Anakin Obi-Wan relationship and how he turned appealed to more. So I watched those before going back for the OG. So the Obi-Wan Anakin stuff was more appealing to you. And then once that was done, then you went back and saw the original. Got it. And he says, I'm going to watch Aquaman and Blue Beetle just to close out the DCU. Yeah. Cool. All right. Well, that was a fun episode. We're going to be doing more, obviously, in the new year. I might do a format change slightly on Nerdy Coffee. I'm not sure. I've been toying with some ideas. New intro for pre-recorded videos will be launching this week. Anthony has a new comic review, so stay tuned for that. But yeah, I'm looking forward to this year. You know, similar to T3, I will say, you know, we're hoping for the best, praying for you, all that fun stuff. If I go through a similar thing this year, and essentially I may have to move the show. I don't want to get rid of the show, but if things change, then I may have to move this. Maybe this becomes a weekend show. Maybe this becomes like a Saturday morning show or a Sunday morning show. If times don't allow for it during the week. So that's something that might happen this year. Guaranteed, no, but just kind of talking out loud. Just so you guys get an idea. But appreciate the support. Appreciate the support. By this time next week, we will know if we are out of YouTube jail. Our appeal, our court hearing is on Sunday the 7th. So hopefully none of the things we watch today affect our channel. But we will go step by step. Step 1, get approved to monetize once again. Step 2, watch hours. So our watch hours have dropped. The JDF video is now past a year. So if you don't know, to monetize, you need 1,000 subscribers, which we're way past that. But you also need 4,000 watch hours in the last 365 days. So the biggest pop we had on the channel was the JDF video, but that pop of views and watch hours was longer than 365 days ago. So if we get approved Sunday and all we're missing is the watch hours, then I'm probably going to stream for hours until we get that final, I think it's like 200 or something like that, hours. If they say we can't even apply until we get the 4,000, we'll kind of address it from there. But I think we at least hit the tier to do the lower monetization tier. I think that one you need like 500 subscribers and less watch hours. So we should at least be at that one. And if we can get that one, then we'll automatically upgrade to total monetization after that. And if they reject us again, we may have to straight up just new channel. Version 2. New YouTube page, everything. So we'll see. But thank you all for supporting us either way, especially those of you who joined the channel memberships over at nerdaffiliated.com. I've said it before, we owe you member-only streams. We're going to really be cranking down, walking that tightrope when it comes to content, to get more content out this year, more content than last year. And we also, maybe we really start to allocate X person on this channel talks about this topic, X person talks about that topic, and then maybe larger form podcasts with the group is where we talk about everything. So running ideas through the head. We'll see what we do here at the channel. But appreciate you all for watching. Appreciate you for being here. 2024 will be amazing. It will be amazing. And look forward to sharing that with all of you and having all of you on the journey with us. All of you affiliated nerds. Patrick says, big energy, hoping these things pass positively. Yes, they will. They will. We always make it. Everybody will make it. T3 will make it. That's what we do. We survive Order 66 every time. Every time. Hey Archer Live every Thursday, 8:15-ish p.m. here on Nerd Affiliated. But every Monday morning, as you witnessed, actually, no, you didn't witness. Today's Tuesday. But normally every Monday morning, as you would witness, Nerdy Coffee here on Nerd Affiliated. Two different shows, two different vibes. Either way, you're stuck with this guy. New comic review dropping tomorrow from Anthony. Otherwise, I'll see all of you on Thursday. Like, comment, subscribe. Talk to all you nerds in the next video, which I just said what it was. I don't know why I said that anyway. It's just what we do here. Peace. We're out of here.